Greetings, my fellow freedom-loving sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangrove South Florida, and today's date is Saturday, December 19th, 2020. I'm not going to do any rants, and just get a little moody at times. Try to do something and things happen, and what the hell? I get like that too, don't worry. It's a human element. But I'm okay, just one of those moments. But I'm not going to be a schlep rock and have everyone feel sorry for me. Alright, well, I'm going to be mainly talking about Second Amendment news to an extent. Yeah, everything will be related to this one way or the other. Rifle self-defense, natural law, and all that. So it's mainly 2A stuff. So I'll be titled here, Armed Group Breaks into Wrong Home. ATF has gone off the deep end. And gun rights groups sue New Mexico governor. Well, let me just start narrating for you kiddies out there. And this one came from the westernjournal.com. Commentary. Armed group breaks into family home. Only half make it out alive after dad rains hellfire. 4-year-old girl, came out today by the way. A 4-year-old girl will live to see another Christmas because her dad was one of the good guys with the gun. Second Amendment opponents pretend is just a myth. A home invasion that began about 10 a.m. on December 8th ended when a homeowner opened fire on 4 armed intruders in his home in Lacombe, Louisiana. WVUE-TV reported 2 of the men, 25-year-old Renard Calzi Jr. and 21-year-old Justin Hill, were shot dead, and the other 2 suspects were wounded. The homeowner's 4-year-old girl also was injured in the crossfire, but had surgery and is expected to make a full recovery, according to multiple reports. The suspects might have pistol whipped the homeowner before he opened fire, one of the homeowner's relatives told WVUE. While it's always a tragic anytime there is a loss of life, I am pleased that due to the rapid response time of our deputies, all parties that were involved in this isolated incident have been accounted for. St. Tammany Parish Sheriff Randy Smith told WGNO-TV. The sheriff's office said the surviving armed intruders, Renard Casey Causey Sr., and Jason LeBlanc, will be charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, and home invasion after they are released from the hospital, according to WDSU-TV. Wait, I'm going to go back here for a moment. So a father and son team decides to get involved. That's pretty disgusting, okay? Good grief. So I'm going to continue here. So Papa survived, and he'll be charged for first-degree murder of the 2 suspects, including his late son. A sheriff's office spokesperson told Times Picayune they are still investigating the altercation, but that the 2 surviving suspects were charged with murder under Louisiana law because their criminal actions resulted in the death of their accomplices. And a lot of states have it, including Florida, okay? The homeowner will not be charged, the outlet reported. This kind of scenario illustrates the importance of Second Amendment's right to keep and bear arms, or natural law. Okay, right to self-defense should be the key, but that's okay. Had the homeowner had not been armed, it's possible that he and his daughter and anyone else in the house at the time would not have survived. The man's firearm protected him and his little girl, just as the firearm have countless other times for victims who otherwise would be at the mercy of their attackers. There are stories of a pregnant woman in Florida who defended her home and her unborn baby with an AR-15. Of 3 Detroit women on their way to church who were saved when one woman shot at a home intruder. And of a disabled woman in Texas who shot a home intruder and fended off another. Yet, the gun control crowd often pulls on the heartstrings in an attempt to restrict gun ownership, pleading their case with the stories of child-sized caskets used to bury victims of school shootings. Profound, disturbing tragedies that are every parent's worst nightmare. And remember, folks, a lot of these horrific incidences, like what happened at Stoneman Douglas and Columbine, what they have in common, they were in firearm-free zones under law. Okay, those are facts. Not opinions, not being a gun toter. On its face, prima facie. You can look it up yourselves. Read. But lost in their zeal to rid the world of all firearms, to prevent those events are instances where would-be victims save their lives or their loved ones, just as the father in Louisiana did. Had it not been for him shooting the armed intruders, his little girl could have been another child victim laid to the rest of her best-dressed days before Christmas. Instead, if her family is like millions of others across America, that to celebrate the holiday, she will wake up on Christmas morning for that pinnacle of childhood joy, alive because of the protective instincts of her father and his ability to have a firearm. Yes, gun violence is ugly. Always say violent crime, all right? Leaving too many people dead and victims' families shattered with grief. But had his father not unleashed his fury on the miscreants in his home, and his family could have been the next tragic story. And that was by Christine Fauci. And she's right. And this is always, I admire that. Because a person's home is their castle. Castle doctrine, property rights. And another thing you should always learn, police are not obligated to protect you as an individual. Many states have it. Almost all 50 states have it, one way or the other. Like in Louisiana, they have it. Trust me. All you got to do is look up sovereign immunity tort liability in that state. And you can read it for yourselves. And another thing, too, we can always look at is the right to keep and bear arms, right? Under Louisiana's Constitution. Article 1, Section 11. The right of each citizen to keep and bear arms is fundamental and shall not be infringed. Any restriction on this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny. Sometimes that does flip-flop. All right, and 24 of Article 1. The enumerated rights in this Constitution are certain rights shall not be denied or disparaged, other rights retained by the individual citizens of the state. So, right to own a firearm, right to defend yourself and your family are natural rights. Very self-explanatory. You don't need a lawyer to figure that one out. All you gotta do, folks, is read. If you don't know certain words, look it up. It's called personal clarification. And I'm glad that particular family was safe. It was okay. And it's a real shame the four intruders chose poorly, especially the father and son team. I'm just wondering what Callazy Sr. has to say. He don't got a lot to say. All you should do is repent and go, Your Honor, if there's evidence, does matter, I plead guilty and take responsibility for my actions. That's all I gotta say. And if he wants to plead not guilty, the state has to back it up. But based on the story, the intruders chose poorly. And now the two are charged. Multiple charges, including first-degree murder. So, we'll hit this next one here, folks. This one came from Canada Free Press. Actually, they originally got this from Second Amendment Foundation. It says here, we are happy to join with our friends from various organizations to defend the people of New Mexico's right to keep and bear arms. Came out today by Second Amendment Foundation. Of course, Canadian Free Press has it in here. So that's here, the Second Amendment Foundation, National Rifle Association, and the Fire Policy Coalition today filed a federal lawsuit against New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. Yeah, Grisham. Challenging her order mandating the closure of lawful retail firearm businesses during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Joining SAF, NRA, and FPC are the New Mexico Shooting Sports Association, 2 businesses, and 3 private citizens. They are represented by attorneys Patrick J. Rogers from Albuquerque, Cody J. Winsanowski, Lakewood, Colorado, Adam Krause, Sacramento, California, and Michael T. John, Fairfax, Virginia. The complaint was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District Court of New Mexico and is known as Aragon versus Grisham. In addition, Governor Grisham, also named as a defendant, is Kathleen Kunkel, Secretary for the New Mexico Department of Health. Both in their official capacities, Department of Health is also the defendant. The lawsuit challenges defendants' mandatory shuttering of lawful retail firearm businesses by arbitrarily, conspicuously, and unconstitutionally targeting those who lawfully sell firearms and ammunition. New Mexico is depriving citizens of their natural and fundamental right to keep and bear arms, the complaint alleges. I like that. Natural and fundamental right. See, I respect that more. That's a great complaint. I like that quote. Governor Grisham simply can't suspend the Second Amendment, stated SAF founder and executive vice president Alan M. Galib. Of course, there's an emergency, but such emergencies do not nullify the Constitution, even temporarily. We cannot allow public officials to put their personal agenda above the rights protected by the Constitution, and that includes the right of the people to keep and bear arms. The government has no duty to protect you, and coronavirus-related impacts on law enforcement could be significant, added FPC President Brandon Combs. So times like now are precisely when people must be able to acquire self-defense tools to defend their lives and homes. We are proud to participate in this important case to defend the people's right to keep and bear arms against government abuses in New Mexico. Unfortunately, Adam Kraut, FPC Director of Legal Strategy, observed, we find ourselves having to litigate yet another case where government officials believe that a crisis creates an exception to an enumerated constitutional right. We are happy to join with our friends from various organizations to defend the people of New Mexico's right to keep and bear arms. And that will be it on this one. And it's very good news on that, and I'm very pleased that they're representing. And how come they didn't take this to the state courts? That's the question. Okay, because if you look at New Mexico's Constitution, and if you read Article 2, okay, Article 2 is their Bill of Rights, okay? And it's interesting here because if you look at Section 1, it says supreme law of the land, the state of Mexico is an inseparable part, okay? Popular sovereignty, Section 2. All political power is invested and derived from the people. All government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will, is instituted solely for their good. And of course, 3, the right of self-government. The people of the state have the sole and exclusive right to govern themselves as a free, sovereign, and independent state. Here's a kicker. Section 4. All persons are born equally free and have certain natural right, inherited and inalienable rights, among which are the rights of enjoying and defending life and liberty, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining safety and happiness. So we'll hit number 6, section 6. No law shall abridge the right of the citizen to keep and bear arms for security and defense, for lawful hunting and recreational use, and for other lawful purposes. But nothing herein shall be held permanent the carrying of concealed weapons. Okay, so they said they could probably give you that condition, how you can carry your weapons. But here's the thing, it should not be infringed. So there's no buts, because if you look at that, I'll keep on here. No municipality or county shall regulate in any way an incident the right to keep and bear arms. It's funny about that, but nothing herein shall be held permit to carry of the concealed weapon. That's a legitimate, that's like a catch-22 they're trying to give to you. But however, if you go back to section 4, that supersedes that. All right, that's how I look at it. And we'll hit 19. Yeah, I'm just rolling this down here on 19. And 19 here is a retroactive laws, bill of attainder, and impairment of contracts. No ex post facto law, bill of attainder, nor law impairing the obligation of contracts shall be enacted by the legislator. So here's the thing. So the government has this order, Department of Health, and they would go through the legislator, right? If it did, it's still illegal. So it's an impairing contract. It's null and void. All right, so we'll hit 23. The enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights should not be construed to deny, impair, or disparage others retained by the people. All right, there you go. Checkmate, tic-tac-toe. Not just for firearms, but for businesses as well. That's their property right. Okay, the government has no power to tell you you can't open. You have to open up on my terms. To hell with them. She's nothing more than a sap anyway, and that's those dingleberries from the Department of Health. Pathetic. The land of enchantment, right? Shoot, not enchanting right now. It's not that hard, folks. Even in New Mexico, it's not that hard to know about your rights. Article 2, self-explanatory. Section 2, Bill of Rights means government keep out, not exceptionalism. Or, okay, mistress, there's no privilege. You don't need permission. You got those rights. Right to carry, right to run a business. As long as everything's done in good faith, they got no power. It's pathetic. It's like a hot button for me. I just scratch my head. Like, what these people think they're in? Fuck, these knuckleheads think they are. In freaking Twilight Zone or something? This Bizarro, their Lord and Savior? Going up the Bizarro flag. Here, you should put this in your court. Put this in your governor's office. Hang it over as your altar. Wow, it's just, hey, but I gotta say, I like what's going on, and it looks like I screwed up. I should use the ATF has gone off the deep end. That's my mistake, but I'm going to speak about that. Gotta do a little quick editing here. So, that'll be fine. I'll be fine, and I'll do this right here. Okay, so I'll just rearrange it on my show, when I type it up. That's my fault, and I do apologize there, kiddies. And but this one here came from the town hall. The ATF's latest announcement shows the agency has gone off the deep end. That's what Matt Vespa has to say. Came out yesterday. Okay. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is a federal law enforcement agency that is now not well received among those who protect our Second Amendment rights. Guys say natural rights, Bill of Rights, and natural rights is better, okay? And rightfully so, if Democrats had their way, this agency would be expanded. And part of the effort to confiscate firearms, the left views as scary looking to use their lexicon, those assault weapons they railed against on a daily basis. This is an agency that will maintain the gun registries that would serve as a logistical blueprint for gun grabbers. And right now they're planning the largest gun registration push in American history. Yes, you read that right. and what's happening under President Trump's watch. Stephen Gutowski has more on this on the Washington Beacon. Emphasis mine. Says it right here. New guidance from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. ATF could put millions of Americans in legal jeopardy. The ATF published a notice Thursday that could require millions of AR-15s and similar firearms, which are designed with braces that strap on to a shooter's forearm, to be either registered, turned in, destroyed, or dismantled. Okay, so if those Democrats out there are like pro Roe versus Wade and support this, they are hypocrites. All the pro-choices out there, if you support this and you say you support Roe versus Wade, you are a hypocrite. I know I said that twice. But the standards laid out for determining the device's legality, such as caliber or weight, provide no objective measures, and the agency said it may also use undisclosed factors to judge the legality of the devices. The agency conceded in the notice that some pistol braces are legal and should not be subjected to the registration or destruction requirement. It said, however, that it could not provide a blanket determination for which pistols or braces with which they're often equipped and legal, and said it would have to examine each gun on a case-by-case basis. That means owners of vast majority of the estimate 3 to 4 million AR-15 pistols and similar firearms may have to register the ATF. No, it's null and void, baby. Second Amendment advocates were up in arms over this proposed rule, saying the certain legal status could destroy several businesses that make pistol braces and harm the gun industry. Eric Pratt, Senior Vice President of Gun Owners of America, said the subjective nature of the guidance shows that the ATF has gone off the deep end. And this is what Stephen Gutowski has to say. Why is it unclear why the Trump administration has turned a blind eye to what the ATF is doing with the gun rights movement and the gun industry up in arms. It's odd to see them remain silent. Okay? Like I said right here, the ATF decision could lead to the biggest gun registration turning effort in American history. Freebeacon.com. Well, I'll continue on here. President Trump backed the ATF's push to ban bump stocks, but this is different. This is destruction of businesses and gross infringement on Second Amendment rights. It is forced compliance for millions of law-abiding citizens to be included in a government database for merely exercising their constitutional rights. And Trump is AWOL. To make matters worse, Joe Biden will be sworn as the next president of the United States in January, if it goes through, okay? Right now, with an incoming Biden presidency, there is no room to mount an effective defense other than exposing what this agency plans to do. Under Biden, these intrusive and unconstitutional action items against gun owners and Second Amendment rights will be jacked up on steroids paid by Michael Bloomberg, one of my favorite ginos, and his Everytown harem. That's right. See you far and proud, Michael Bloomberg. Right? And so, what if this regulation is nixed under Trump? Hypothetically, in the waning days of his administration, Biden would just push for it again when he's in the Oval, along with other items attached. Gun control is going to be attempted at some point in the next 4 years, and it will be more aggressive than Obama's failed push in 2020 post-Sandy Hook. Look, elections have consequences that cuts both ways, but in this case, when you push an agenda that shreds the Bill of Rights, fight to the death. That starts with non-compliance and with this unenforceable regulation. And if Democrats want to attempt to go door to door on this, please try it. Yeah, let them do it themselves without police assistance or the ATF. Let's see how tough these retortions are. Imagine Beto and Dumb Down Debbie and Dianne Feinstein, a bunch of these zombies walking up, knocking on your door. Please. The entire judiciary has had a conservative facelift over the past 4 years. Big league. Well, I can tell you this. Editor's note. Want to support Town Hall Conservative? Nah, okay, that's enough for that. But here's the thing, folks. You got the 10th Amendment. Every state could tell them to stick it. The sheriffs could tell them, go to hell. I would say talk on a local level. What are you going to do about it? Remember talking about some of the past about the Patriot Act, resolutions and so forth? Some of those states have it, locals have it. Use that too. Utilize it. And call out your local service. Hey, you going to let this happen? And let the sheriffs know too. You going to be holding your oath or you going to be a yes man? Yes person. If not, pack your stuff and leave. That's how you got to look at it. As far as I'm concerned, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Explosive Bureau has to be dismantled, period. I'll listen to the podcast of how great they are from the Justice Department. I am not too enthused. Maybe good people in this particular institution, but I'm not impressed. It should have been banned a long time ago when Prohibition, the 18th Amendment, got repealed. All right? They're nothing more than walking antimatter. Plain and simple. I've seen documents on these things. Documentaries. One, I recommend you might go to JPFO's website. The ATF has failed the test. All you guys do is watch that video, and if you could order it, do it. Mind blowing. They all claim they're experts, and many of them are not. This is why it's more of another big federal institution that needs to be defunded. Yeah, I said defund the police. How about the ATF first? That'd be the ones I support defunding. Bottom line is this, folks. They have no jurisdiction. They're invalid. They're unacceptable. And I do recall what happened at Ruby Ridge, Waco, a few other things. And I just scratch my head. And they still fund them again and again and again. I can tell you one thing. I have a colleague of myself. Many years ago, we went to his gun show in Fort Lauderdale. We wore a T-shirt. I had my cool little work shirt on. Had to open up. Says boot to BATFE. I'll tell you one thing. I pissed off some ATF agents. You know what? I had no shame. I thought it was great. And all the vendors, they just looked at me and smiled like, trying not to laugh, trying to hold it in. But they admired it. Because they got harassed many times as well. So, hey, if you agents, if they get dismantled, you say you're a cop, if you're honorable enough, join the U.S. Marshals, okay? That will be it. I'd like to thank everyone for listening, plus feel free to download and share throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something that's interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to Decorum. Furthermore, I will leave the footnotes of these articles on my Spreaker page. If you want to contact me, you can hit me at lookieluck3@gmail.com or lookieluck03@protonmail.com. If you want to do a donation, you can hit me at paypal.me/lookieluck3. Support the other sites as well. Second Amendment Foundation will be great. Western Journal that do donations, or the hall. So Town Hall. Show them some love. Trust me, you'll be greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.